Welcome to Primary Center inside a brand new 216 RKS, brand new model in the Apex Nano series. We are super excited to see this one in a first rendering on paper, and then having seen it in pictures, thought it was even better. And then recently taking a trip down to Indiana to actually see it at the factory, they absolutely hit it out of the park with this one. This is something that certainly customers of mine have been asking for, or something certainly very close to it. And they've absolutely delivered just a wonderful coach here. So let's take you through here. So we have optioned this particular unit here with the Stargazer option, which if you're in an off-grid situation, you really appreciate for the amount of airflow. And then you match that with a similarly sized window here on the side, which has its own shade that you can draw down. And again, you've got just absolutely wonderful window coverage all the way around. Plus, you can open all those windows for ventilation, so it really does help. And then right by the door here, we do have the 4-speed out max fan. So if you're certainly working in the kitchen here, you can have that door open. You can also have the fan going. And with your Stargazer, really going to help to get any smells you might have from any cooking you may wish to do here out. Love the fact that on the rear kitchen here, even if the slide out is in and you're traveling, if you're stopping for groceries, that fridge is fully accessible, as are all the cupboards here. And then you've got a little pantry over on this side as well. So lots of space here and below for those items. So everything's accessible if you want to do a quick stop and shop. So as we come in, you do have an outlet as well as safety equipment like your fire extinguisher right by the door. Very handy. Lots of counter space back here as everything is undermounted. So you've got your 2-burner stove. You've got your great high-rise faucet here with a nice vegetable sprayer. And then your huge stainless sink here. As you can see, lots of natural light coming in here. You do have LED lights throughout, but really helps to have that natural light. You've got space for dishes here, lots of room for cutlery just below, as well as pots and pans. All the Nano series will now have an upgraded microwave, so it's a microwave, convection, and air fryer. That's throughout the whole line. Furnace is placed here just at the back. We do have your full Everchill fridge here, so 10 cubic foot, so lots of capacity here, huge. We are now equipped standard to pair with that on the roof. Two 200-watt panels. So you have 400 watts of solar standard on all of your 2026 Nanos. On top of that, which is brand new for them, your plugs that are GFI are now also wired for inverters. So that is an upgrade you could make down the line once you kind of see how you're going to use things. Again, gives you an additional option. Great little area here to sit inside. Myself and many others, and certainly many of my clients, we all realize we tend to live outside. And when we go outside of this unit, you're going to see how this setup on this side by the roadside, by the door side, is going to help with the setup on the outside to make it kind of more functional out there. So it's a great spot here to sit, do a little bit of work if you had to, even to watch a movie if you wanted to, but just have maybe a morning coffee here, great little spot. You've got an ultra comfortable couch here, standard. With some cup holders built in. That's on a small slide. And if that slide were in, thankfully here, you're not going to lose very much. So you've got a small area here where you've got a small bit of storage, a couple outlets, again, a bit of storage here. So that's the only area that's really going to be not accessible. So it's a wonderful unit if you wanted something just to be able to, pull in a Walmart parking lot occasionally and take one of those spots and just stay for the night. I will point out here, you've got a great natural TV spot directly across from the couch here. This unit does come standard with a couch. You're going to see pictures from the manufacturer and things like that that'll show that TV actually outside. We are going to move it inside. For our clients, we know that is going to be the preference. So we're just going to automatically move it inside. So right basically between the two storage spots there, you've got a plug-in, you've got your hookup for cable and satellite. Again, we're going to put it right there initially very shortly here. We'll add some pictures of that so you can see that in place. The nice thing is it frees up some space outside to use as a bit more of an outside kitchen. Something unique here, which I didn't expect, but I really like the idea. A little change they've made on this model, and I have a feeling they'll probably start to do some of the others. They'll do them the same way in the longer Apex Nanos. So they have gone with 2 air conditioners in this unit. So one in the main area, one in the bedroom. They're 8 kilowatt. What that means is you can run this off of a 15 or 20 amp service. So if that's primarily all you're running, if you try to run something else like a hairdryer or something, it may become problematic. But if you're just trying to cool things down quickly and you only had 15 or 20, it's going to allow you to run one of those ACs at a time. So at least in this area, you could cool things down. So it gives you more options than just 30 amp, especially for a night. Again, if you're just maybe plugging into a neighbor's house or a friend's house, you could run that bedroom AC off of that 15 or 20 amps. So it's giving you more possibilities in how you use it, which I really love. This unit does have a converter, which is ready for lithium. And with this much solar already on board, it does lend itself for clients of ours going with lithium to be able to go, say, a week at a time and be off-grid when they wish. Great design here with the bathroom. This is something I know they're looking to do shortly here in some redesigns of other models. So that's kind of in some of their 20-ish foot models. Some of the kind of the small items that wish list that people have wanted is a little bit bigger bathroom. So this is a full width bathroom here. So you get a great vanity, lots of counter space, lots of drawers and storage. Great storage above as well. And again, it's more of an ensuite bath. So again, if you've got people in, you can kind of shut it off and it can be a full bathroom suite. And then we get a bigger shower. Again, we've got our skylight as well, some hooks already in here. We do have a secondary fan in here as well. And then that brings us right to the bedroom again. We don't have to open a slide to get to the bedroom, the bathroom, or the kitchen area. So we've got our huge windshield here, again, letting in tons of light. We've got an emergency escape window here. We do have some ducting for furnished into this area as well. So you will get some heat up front. And then we've got windows across from each other. You're going to notice we have USB and 120 volts on either side of the bed. You're going to have about a 50-50 split of storage here, and with outside pass-through and then inside storage. Large, deep cabinets going back about 2.5 feet. And then we've got hanging storage on either side of the bed. As I mentioned, secondary AC there. So again, you can run either or if you have 30 amp service, you could run them both at the same time if you felt that, that you needed it. This unit definitely lends itself to being outside. We're going to take you outside to show you that, some of the great amenities on the outside. I didn't mention as we come in, we do have our Bluetooth speaker, which is removable on a docking station, recharges there. And then we're going to have our awning and our slide out switches just by the door here where we'd want them. Let's head out here. I'm going to mention the tip to tail length here is 26 feet. We're going to come in at just over 4,500 pounds. So again, it's certainly open to a wide array of tow vehicles. I can certainly see a lot of those light trucks, Canyons, Tacomas, things like that. That'll certainly be towing this. But there's certainly many more SUVs, things like a Pathfinder at 6,000 pounds. We'll certainly have clients using that type of vehicle. You notice here you've got an absolutely massive awning. So in terms of the Nano line, by far the longest awning. Easy access here on the back to your hot water tank. So your awning extends past the door, but then it also passes our huge opening window here on the side. So you've got this window that's more than 4 feet wide, and then drop down. I mentioned we have the TV location that from the factory is set to the outside. For our customers in our area, I know that they're going to have a preference for it inside. We can always move it outside should they wish to have it. But the reality is when we do that, it's going to open up the possibilities here to have, you can imagine a coffee maker out here, toaster out here, all the spices you could want and sauces. It just lends itself really, really well to be a little kitchen prep area. Great little spot to pull up those chairs you have on the inside. You can put them outside, enjoy yourself in the morning. You've got a plug-in here just off to the left, as well as the spot for your griddle. So incorporating that into, again, an outside kitchen that's underneath your awning with LP gas here, it just makes all the sense in the world to us. So we're going to make that minor change here, something that we often do, again, just tweak little layouts. We've got 2 axles here, again, making it very stable on the road. Our awning's coming right to the very front here, so maximizing the amount of outside space we could have that's shaded. It's going to come out a full 8 feet. We do have a 7.5 foot wide stance here, so you've got full pass-through storage for 7.5 feet wide. We've got our charge controller there. Up front, we will be adding a front power jack, so it's not a standard feature from Coachman and the Nano series, but it is something we do here regularly, so you're going to have that added here shortly. Standard, you'll have 2 propane tanks. We've got lots of room for multiple batteries, so something like 2 6 volts or 2 100 amp hour lithium batteries will be wonderful choices here to really to maximize the solar that you already have standard from the factory and be able to kind of be out there longer and not be hunting for power. So we come around to the back side. Again, we can see our slide out comes out about 2.5 feet. So again, it doesn't interfere a whole lot. We do have our water fill here. Nice thing here on all the Nano series, you're going to have large 50-gallon freshwater tanks. In our front compartment as well, you're going to have a pre-wire now for Starlink. So should you want an input, it already has it there for you. Black and gray hookups here, so easy to dump, easy to get to. We do have a tank cleaner here for your black. So if you've got fresh water at your dump station or on site, you can quickly wash out the sensors on that tank. You're going to have Azdel composite behind the fiberglass walls, which basically eliminates the wood in the wall. So typically wood is the problem for all RVs over time. If it gets wet, things start to come apart, and that's the last thing that people want. And something that's made kind of Apex and Coachman's use right from the get-go of Azdel, something they bring throughout their whole lines. We do not stock a fiberglass product that does not use an Azdel composite or something like it. So right now it is only Azdel. So we know the difference, and so it's something you definitely want to watch for. We do have a standard outside shower, so hot and cold water here. If you have water on site, we've got our direct connection here for you. You're going to have 4 oversized jacks. You're going to have a secondary gray tank, so it's the only Nano unit currently that has a secondary gray tank. So you're going to have 2. So your primary at the front is going to be for bathroom only, and then you're going to have 1 for your rear sink. So if you're not using your kitchen sink a whole lot, nice thing is that's not going to fill up anytime soon, but it does give you that ability to split some of that so that, again, you get a bit more gray water capacity. On the back, we have our spare tire standard. We've got a 30 amp connection here, as well as cable and satellite hookup. So 30 amp on the bottom. We've got LED lights all the way around the exterior, just as we do on the interior. And then we do have a preset up for a backup camera, should you wish to have it. And then on-demand hot water. So that is now the standard throughout pretty well all Coachman products. So it's going to give you ability to create a lot more hot water faster. So this is a truly exciting unit. One that is new to the Nano lineup, and something that certainly customers have been asking for, or something very close to this. And I think with some of the little tweaks we're going to make here, we're hoping to make it, again, even better. We'd invite you down to Primo RV Center to come have a much closer look at this brand new Coachman Apex Nano 216 RKS.